My name is Aida Valencia. I work for the City of Los Angeles for the Bureau of Streets LA. I am a superintendent too with resurfacing and reconstruction. I've been with the city for 30 years, but I've been working with asphalt for 20. Currently, I am the only female at a superintendent 2 level. I'm the first female to run an asphalt plant. Before me, we've had 2 other females, superintendents, and it hasn't been easy. It's a challenge. Have I gotten past it? I think I've gotten comfortable with myself and my abilities, my knowledge, what I've done to get to this position. But it's an ongoing thing. You're, as a female, you're expected to perform at a higher level often enough. The turning point, being accepted, was actually when I was a sweeper operator, not so much at my level now. When I was a sweeper operator, I was working with a combination crew where we did cutting and paving. And when my crew actually accepted me as part of their crew, that I think was a turning point for me. That's when I actually felt, I do belong here. And that was big because at the time there were only 2 female sweeper operators. And my counterpart had a little bit more of a challenge. So I think what happened is that my crew members realized that I was there to help them. I wasn't expecting anything to be given to me. I worked for every little thing, from learning how to rake and shovel so that I could help them, to actually eventually running the crew myself, earning their trust and earning their respect. And now it's years later, 15 years later, now I'm supervising some of those people that actually helped me to learn. And once I became a supervisor, the fact that I was able to learn my job, not only as a sweeper operator, but as a ground person, helped me when people were challenging me. I asked somebody on a pothole truck, hey, I need you to take care of this. And they would say, oh, we can't do that. It's like, well, come on, let me grab a rake, let me grab a shovel, let me show you that we can. And that's how I earned my respect as a supervisor. But still, my counterparts has always been a challenge, because when I go after a position, I don't see that I'm competing against anyone. I realize that I'm competing against myself. But still, you have people thinking, well, why does she get the job? What does she have to do to get the job? When in reality, is what I had to do was show up every day, learn my job, work hard, and understand that I'm not working in my world at this time. I'm working in their world, in a male-dominated world. So I have to figure out, how do I exist there? In some worlds, I have to be very, very serious, very to the point, very stern. In others, I don't have to be that way. I could be a little bit more myself, who's not that hard of a person in reality, but you have to straddle that line. And when you're working with, whether it's down the line or up the line, you have to, well, I feel that I have to adjust to that person, because, some of my managers think I'm a little too soft, and others tell me I'm too hard. So you straddle the line. It's like, okay, when I deal with this person, I have to be like this. When I deal with that person, I have to be like that. But at the end of the day, I realize, okay, I'm here doing the job. I'm getting the work done. I'm responsible for a $40 million program, 90 employees, and I get the work done. So something's working. I don't know. As far as my personal career, I enjoy what I do. So if I were to stay doing what I'm doing right now, which is just managing the asphalt plant, I would be happy. But what really excites me is that we're starting to see more young women, and actually women of all ages, they're actually coming to work with me. And that really excites me, because it gives me an opportunity to give them the support that maybe I didn't have when I was coming up, and talking to them about some of the pitfalls that, that I've watched, either when I tripped or other women that we work with. So as soon as we get new employees, whether it's men or women, they come into my office and I give them the orientation. And the women, I kind of take them aside and I give them a little pep talk, letting them know that they're there because they can obviously do the job because they had to do a test for the job. So they earned the spot they have. And then I challenge them to do two things. One is to learn as much as they can of their position and the positions above them so that when they take my place, I tell them, you're going to be so much better because you're actually starting from the ground up. I came in the middle. So that really excites me that by that time they're, in with the city for 30 years, they're going to be way better than I could ever be. And that's really exciting for me. And two is to make sure that they don't forget where they started, which was at zero knowledge, zero experience, so that when other women come behind them, that they're able to give them that support that I'm trying to give them. So that as we grow in the industry, more women, that we're able to work together and help each other, hold each other up. Because I know that as women, sometimes we tend to push each other aside, hold each other down. So trying to remove those barriers from each other. So I don't have too many women working for me, but the ones that I do, I try to make sure that they understand that they don't see each other as competition, but that they realize that they're the only ones that can get in their way. And watching especially the younger women come up and watching them develop, learning the different equipment that we work with, learning the different processes, that really is exciting as far as where we're going as a city bureau, and the exposure that we're giving them. I think that if we're talking with regards to women, what we need to do is just more education. More education for the men, more education for the women. It's still a very male-dominated job, and we see that we have young women coming in, and I think that's the challenge, that we have to make sure that we teach them what they need to know as far as the job itself, but also what the environment is. For example, I get along with all my coworkers since the beginning, but I always knew there was a line. There's a line that I don't cross, and there's a line that they're not allowed to cross. And that kept me safe. There was never a day where I didn't feel safe. But when I came into the field, I was, early 30s. But we have women coming in that are just May 20, mid 20s, and that's still very young, and they're still, trying to discover themselves and their identity and their strength. So when they come in, we need to get them like a running start on that. Is like, this is what you should expect, and this is what you're going to see, and you got to be careful with this and that. And then also educating the men as to how to deal with us as women, because I go up to a crew and I'll tell one of my workers, hey, she can do that because I watched her do it. So let her, shovel that, rake that, pick that up, because I see that sometimes our men want to treat our women, as these fragile flowers that we are. However, when we're out there, we're not women. We're workers, whether we're equipment operators, rakers, supervisors, no matter what. That's how they have to learn to see us and make sure that they understand that by now not allowing us to do our jobs, they're actually hurting us because they're not allowing us to learn. They're giving the perception that maybe we can't do it, and that's why they're doing it for us. When oftentimes I found that they were just trying to be helpful, not necessarily hurtful, but the guy standing next to them that's already upset that you got the job and they didn't, saying it, oh, see, she couldn't do the job. So giving our people more education, our men, our women, and teaching them how to work together.
Awesome.
That's what I would like to see more of. The one thing I can say is, if you don't mind coming home a little sweaty and you like working outdoors, this is definitely a job for you. You're not only going to get to, build physical strength because it is labor, but then you get the sense of empowerment when you actually have the ability to learn how to operate the equipment. You get on top of a mini profiler or a big profiler, those big beasts, and you have all that power under you and you're able to control it, and you know what that machine can do. Resurfacing is one of those jobs that it's instant gratification. You show up in the first thing in the morning, the street's torn up. And if it's a small enough project, at the end of the day, you have a brand new smooth street. So you right away you get to see what you're doing, what you can do. So if you like playing with big toys, come on down. There's a lot of room. It's a lot of toys to play with. The boys shouldn't have all the fun. 3 words: challenging, satisfying, and fun. Those are, I think, three words that describe my career for me. Yes. So, challenging, because obviously there's a lot of challenges, not only with coworkers, but just the nature of the beast itself. It's a big program, but at the end of the day, you get it done. You're able to motivate your employees, your coworkers to get to that goal that your mayor has set for you. Um, Satisfying is when you actually get there and you like right now we're getting to the end of our fiscal year and we're going to say, okay, we finished all the 400 and whatever miles they gave us to do. And fun because I've always enjoyed working in resurfacing and asphalt. So my legacy are my women, and actually my women and my men, whatever I'm able to give them. I feel that I'm the legacy of the supervisor that saw something in me that actually got me in the field, because I used to work in the office, but actually got me into a sweeper. I feel I'm his legacy. And for me, my legacy are the people that I'm bringing up. Um, like I said, my men and women, because I have people that I've helped promote, but our women, like I said, I'm going to be very happy in 20 years from now when I look back and I see these women that I've been, helping move up, see them in my chair and maybe even higher. I think that would say a lot about the work that I did.